Hi, my name is Rick Marshall, and I'm the president at Vertical Geo. We provide online and on-site training that is written and developed by us for you. We have about 30 years experience working with geographic information systems, primarily within the Department of Defense and local and state governments. Vertical Geo's QGIS basic training is focused on helping people new to GIS be able to get open source, robust, but free QGIS software and then learn how to use it. Please feel welcome to join us as we provide our QGIS basic training course. We plan to release a new video about every week or so on YouTube and also cross-post it to our Facebook page. Please remember to like our videos and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more content like this. And please use the YouTube or Facebook comment section to ask questions and provide input. Welcome to our QGIS basic training course, lesson number 1, our introduction to QGIS. As you can see on the slide, the way our lessons unfold, we'll progress through topics such as how to create a map and create and manipulate geospatial data in QGIS. We will be defining and introducing new terms and concepts during each lesson. The lessons build upon each other throughout the entire course. The way the lessons unfold, the first week we'll be introducing you to QGIS and downloading the software. Lesson 2, creating and exploring the map, will be the first time we'll really use the software. Lesson 3, map layout, we'll start becoming more familiar with it. Lesson 4, working with vector data, we'll start to learn about some of the basics of geospatial data. Vector data is one of the 2 main types of data we'll work with. Lesson 5, we'll talk about creating vector data. In Lesson 6, we'll talk about other sources of vector data. Lesson 7, we'll move into raster data, which is the second main type of data that we will be using with QGIS. In Lesson 8, we'll talk about different sources of raster data. Lesson 9 will show you how base maps show up in QGIS and talk about other online resources. Lesson 10, we'll create our own raster data. Lesson 11 is kind of unique. QGIS is very popular and has a lot of developers that develop software, third-party type of software that plugs into QGIS and provides additional capability. Many of them are very powerful. And then in Lesson 12, we'll talk about how you can contribute to QGIS, whether it's time or financially, and also give back to the training program. So welcome to Vertical Geo's QGIS basic training course. You might be asking, what is a GIS? A GIS is a geographic information system. It's a system that helps you show geographic data in a map. We use a GIS to make static or interactive maps and to put items we see in the landscape in their geographic position. For instance, how are the maps made that we use for driving directions in our car using either Google Maps or Apple Maps and CarPlay? These maps are a result of a lot of hard work on geographic information system software. The industry leader in GIS software is the Environmental Systems Research Institute, also known as ESRI or ESRI. I worked for ESRI about 20 years ago, and at that time, ESRI was the largest private software company in the world, and their main product was ArcGIS. ArcGIS is still very robust software, but comes with a really hefty price tag. To outfit the typical public works department in a small city, or a large town, it could cost upwards of $120,000 for a full suite of ESRI software. QGIS, on the other hand, offers a great alternative. In my opinion, it's every much as capable as ArcGIS. It is a very robust mapping software. and it's quite incredible the capabilities that it brings. So if you're taking this course on YouTube or Facebook, we will be using the comments section to answer questions and offer tips so that anyone can benefit from the group's knowledge. But we also have some training data you can download from our iCloud. Here's the lessons or the objectives for lesson 1. Today, it'll be a very basic introduction to QGIS. We talked about what a GIS is. It's basically a mapping system, but we also want to introduce you to the support system that surrounds QGIS. As I mentioned in the previous slide, ESRI has a very robust software with an extensive support system surrounding it. But I'll argue that QGIS, although free, is equally as robust. The documentation that helps you learn how to use QGIS and the support system that can answer your questions is better than the ESRI's system. This QGIS network all starts with the website, so we will walk you through the QGIS website and discuss what QGIS project offers. The third objective, using new software can always be uncomfortable, so we will give you a tutorial on how to download it and install QGIS on your computer. And the final objective for today, QGIS has a large community, but we understand it can be intimidating when you're a new user and you need to jump into a community full of software developers to ask some basic questions or talk about basic problems that you're having while learning their software platform. So we want to provide a similar community, but not a community built around developers, a community built around users like you, particularly new users. We don't always understand how each electron flows through the software, but we do know how to use the software, and we have encountered most of the same problems that you'll have while learning a new software application. We want to help you through the process, so we want to provide you with a community where you can ask questions and get involved. We will be doing this through our YouTube and Facebook pages, where you can ask questions and quickly get answers to problems you might be having. Well, why do we love QGIS? There's a lot of great reasons to love it. First off, who can argue with the price? It's free. That means anyone who has a desire to learn how to make maps can do it without spending anything. So here's what I tell our customers all the time. You can easily spend $120,000 on basic ESRI software and have an incredible system that displays your data perfectly, but it also displays all the errors in your data perfectly. Or you can save that $120,000 and use open source software like QGIS and reprioritize some of the money you saved on software back into making your data the best quality data possible. QGIS will make your system look and work flawlessly, but the data you're displaying will be much better and more accurate. QGIS code is also open, so you can use it however you want. There's no restrictions on how you want to use it. If you're a developer, you can modify the code to benefit your processes. If you want to do QGIS to do a small project, you can do it. If you want to use it to map entire countries' road networks, which we've done at Vertical Geo for the road networks of 12 different countries, you can also do that. The QGIS user network is huge, and most of the users like to share their work and their knowledge. Someone is always developing something new. The documentation, which is how to do things step by step for QGIS, is very helpful and is readily available. There are also companies like Vertical Geo who will act as your QGIS help desk for a fee. But documentation is really substantial and covers most of the processes. ESRI's ArcGIS can only be used on a Windows PC, but QGIS is operating system neutral. You can use it on Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. It works equally well on any of those systems. As I mentioned before, it's all about the data. All the data we will use in this class will be free and available from the web. I will walk you through downloading the QGIS software in this lesson, and we also have data available for you to download from our iCloud for lesson 2. And you can see the address to our iCloud download site. You will download all of your own data, and we will walk you through the process of downloading it in lesson 5. Some of it will take a little bit of manipulation to get to work the way you want to, but it's all good data. But you will begin to understand the concepts of mapping, how to source data you may not have, the quality of your data, and how the systems all work together as you progress through the training. But the first step is to open up the QGIS website and download the free QGIS software to your computer. Okay, we'll be downloading QGIS software from the QGIS website. So www.qgis.org. And that takes you to the main page of their website. It's really a pretty neat website. We'll go through and look at the website while we're downloading the software. And the rest of today's lesson will be a live demo on what we're doing. So right up here at the top, we'll navigate to the download tab. You click on it. And first thing that pops up is a dialog box before download starts. And it talks about how QGIS is free software and will always be free software. And just to the right of that is a little pop-up that says one time or monthly, and it's talking about a donation. You can donate in pounds, you can or euros, you can donate in dollars. But you don't have to. If you click on the bottom of that where it says skip and go to download, it will take you out of that box and take you to the next page, which is how to pick the download platform for your device. And if you go through here, you can read through. Mine pops up automatically to QGIS version for the Mac OS, and it does tell us that the QGIS installers for Mac OS are currently outdated and may not reflect the latest version shown in QGIS. They're trying to fix it through updates. I've downloaded mine and it worked fine. Right underneath that, you have 2 buttons here. You have a long-term version for Mac OS and a regular version for Mac OS. The long-term version is software that is tested and stable, and I always download the long-term version for Mac OS. You can download a different, like this version at the very top says QGIS 3.42.3 Munster, and it gives you the release date. That's the most current one. You can go back and download older versions if you wish. So we'll go ahead and click on this long-term version for Mac OS. But before you get there, a couple other things we need to read. Tips for first-time launch. For Mac OS, Sonoma 14 and earlier, to enable QGIS. Actually, this is the first launch, the first time you launch. And I went through this when I downloaded QGIS. You click the open button for QGIS after it's downloaded, and you may get a dialog box saying that the Apple security system settings have stopped you from opening QGIS. If that happens to you, right here is the answer for newer versions or for older versions. The first launch attempt may fail due to Apple security framework. So these are the 2 things that you do based on what operating system you have. Basically, you close, I'm sorry, on mine you clicked open from the context menu. The warning dialog appears, you click done, and then you navigate to system settings, privacy and security, go to the security section, and there's a message that should be there that says QGIS was blocked to protect your Mac. Click open anyway, and you click on that and it opens up, and it'll open up after that every time. And you can see that just below that it tells you the other platforms that QGIS works on, along with container images for installing it on a server, mobile and tablet installations. You can get all the source code, and they do have a whole bunch of example data sets. Anyhow, so I'll go back up here. We click on long-term version for Mac OS, and it starts to download. It asks you where you want to put it. And I have always put it in my downloads folder. In Finder. So I already have it installed, but I'll click save this time. And it starts downloading, as you can tell up here. So let's go back to Safari. And you can see the download bar is working. So, well, it's downloading. Let's look at the website a little bit. It's really a great website. The front page has features, and the tabs up here at the top are replicated down here along the left-hand side. Key features, you can create maps, edit layers, process and analyze data, and share your maps with others. And it gives you a gallery of some of those features going on. There's an area here that talks about plugins, which again are third-party software that plugs into QGIS and brings it more functionality. Most of them are free, a few of them cost money, but there's a lot of really great ones. We used one for collecting surveying data that worked fantastic. There's a lot of others that we have used in doing our road networks that work great too. Then you can go look for local groups, for user groups. And there's some information here in QGIS server, desktop, how the web client works, and how it works differently on mobile devices and tablets. So that was the feature, screenshots and maps. There's lots of great galleries. I mentioned earlier that people like to share their work, and there's just a lot of people that have shared what they've done on the website. It's a great place to go to get information. Case studies is a little bit more detail of how QGIS has been used. On the gallery, they gave you maps and they gave you some samples of what people have done. This is more detailed, like from start to finish, how we did what we did, who we worked with, and what importance our project had. There's a blog and a news feed. This last one was updated April 17th. It takes you out to a separate webpage, qgis.org.blog. Here's where you can see the past releases and where you can download past releases. I think the one I've been using most recently is like 3.32. But you can download past releases there. Future releases, these are things that they're working on and where they're at on releases upcoming. And then there's a sustaining members, and this is a web page that shows you some of the people that are invested in QGIS. They use it in their processes at work, and they actually pay money to the QGIS Foundation to become a sustaining member. And there's a whole bunch of them. You'll notice most of them are in Europe. A few of them are in the United States, but most of them are abroad. And then they have a contact and support section. And again, the community behind QGIS is great. They have Facebook pages, they have user groups. Again, you can report vulnerabilities, just all sorts of great information. The resources tab is one of the most important ones. It has documentation listed. So we would like to take credit for creating every bit of the training that we give you. And we do create it. But if you'll go to, for QGIS users, you can either do a desktop user guide or a training manual or a gentle intro to GIS. If you click on the QGIS training manual, you'll see we organize our training very similar to how it's organized within the QGIS training manual. They have a lot more lessons. They go a lot deeper. They provide you with their own data. We just would rather use data that we're more familiar with. But much of the training process that you go through in our basic training course is very similar to the QGIS training manual. So you can download whatever training you want, and there's a myriad of languages you can pick from. Most of these training guides are written by developers and users, people who wish to help QGIS and maybe donate their money, but in addition or instead of their money, they donate time to do that kind of stuff. So if you want to help, this is some of the types of things that they can really use your help with. There's a resources hub, which I haven't really used a whole lot. Oh, okay. So in here you can, we'll talk about styles later on and projects. They have samples of those and ways to be able to use styles and projects and models within your QGIS projects. You can see it works with 3D. There's some great stuff in there. I talked about plugins. There's so many plugins. We will talk about that in the next lesson as we start looking at using QGIS a little bit. There's books written about how to use QGIS and how to use it to its maximum potential. It's like our internet's running a little bit slow. There's several of them in there. A lot of them are very good for getting started in QGIS, but a lot of other ones will take you and use QGIS to help out some sort of a project, either for ecology or this one is QGIS Emergent Maps. This is the system that we used for collecting survey data. Very good software. Anyhow, all sorts of different ways you can use it. There's a certification program. I haven't really dealt much with that, so I can't really talk much about it. Logos and graphics, compliance reports. The community is a very interesting tab. Like I mentioned several times, the community is big in QGIS and they love sharing what they do. And they've got a page that right off the top, it tells you different ways that you can contribute. Participate in support channels, report bugs, documentation, translate to QGIS into different languages, develop a plugin. I'm not a developer, so I can't really do that. Sustain and donate. So there's all sorts of different ways you can help build the community. There's lots of meetings. Every year they have an annual meeting. But all the user groups around the world have meetings too. I don't have a user group near me, but you can see the next user group meeting is actually was last week in Sweden. So they'll have updates on when and where the user group meetings, the conferences are. There's a section here on the QGIS Foundation and talking about their annual meetings and what types of projects they are involved in. And then there's an organization. This is a kind of an interesting section. It shows some of the leaders within QGIS and how the organization is organized. So this gives you some idea of the wiring diagram of the structure, and then it lists the board members, steering committee members, honorary steering committee members, former steering committee members, voting members. Just lists a lot of people in there that have contributed significantly to QGIS. And this is the local user groups. I didn't really see any here in the US where I'm from, but they have user groups all over the world. So let's go take a look at how our software has installed. It looks like it's still downloading. So when it's done downloading, you just go to wherever you downloaded it, click on it, and again, you may have, the first time you open it up, you may get this you may get a dialog box from Apple saying that it was blocked, and just follow the directions on this download link and it'll get you through getting it up and started. That's it as far as the online or the live demo goes. We will talk about, as we get into lesson 2, we'll talk more about how to use QGIS, but you should have it downloaded and all you have to do is open it up and it should start working for you. Thank you for attending Vertical Geo's Online Academy and watching our QGIS Basic Training course. We want to provide you with the online training that you need, so we appreciate your feedback. Please feel welcome to browse through our YouTube channel and watch any of the training videos. We produce them for you. We plan to release a new video about every week or so on YouTube and then post it to our Facebook page also. Please remember to like our videos and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more content like this. And please use the YouTube or Facebook comment section to ask questions and provide input. Our contact information is on this slide.